Hey guys, it's me Joko. So today we're gonna go over some camera basics. That includes shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, so as you saw, we are in the middle of the forest here. Found a nice, beautiful waterfall, as you can see in the background. Might be a little bit noisy because of the back of the waterfall, but it's actually pretty nice out here. It's not as cold as it was the other day, and I'm here to talk to you about as we said, the three pillars of photography: shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. Okay, aperture. That's the lens, the closing, how much the lens closes and opens in order to let light in. Different lenses have different apertures. The smaller the number, the less you will see in the background. The bigger the number, the more you will see in the background. That's how I learned it. That's easier for me to understand. Let me take a picture with aperture of 4.5 so you can see what I actually mean. So now let me take a picture with a higher aperture number. So as you can see from both pictures, in the first one, in both pictures the tree was in focus. But the difference was the aperture, meaning the background, whether it is blurred more or it is more visible. One will have a shallower depth of field, the other one will have a deeper depth of field, so that more things are revealed in the background. Okay, so now that we kind of understand what aperture means and how it works, let's go to the second pillar, which is shutter speed. Shutter speed is quite important when it comes to fast moving subjects. For example, in sports, when you want to freeze the frame, freeze the motion of your subject. Say now shutter speeds, different cameras have different shutter speeds. So depending on your camera, the faster shutter speed your camera might have could be 4,000 4 thousandths of a second, or there are some higher end, more professional cameras that can go up to 8, 12, 10, I don't even know, 20,000 20 thousandths part of a second. So what I will do is I will try to zoom in as much as I can on the waterfall to show you with a lower shutter speed what kind of a result to get, and then we'll do with a faster shutter speed so you can grasp and get an idea of what I'm talking about. Cool. So as you can see from both images, and one, the water is more buttery smooth. It's more like silky because it was shot at a lower shutter speed, which means that the shutter of the camera was open for longer, so it absorbed more information and it got all that water running through, and that's why it comes out as silky. Whereas stationary objects, such as the trees in the environment, are pretty much in focus, and they are still because they are stationary. Okay, so in the other one, where we have a faster shutter speed, you see that the water is almost frozen in time. You can almost see the stream of the waterfall, of the water falling. So that's the difference between faster and lower shutter speed. Now the third and final pillar of photography is ISO. So what ISO is low ISO, low sensitivity of light. High ISO, higher sensitivity of light, better for shooting at nighttime or when it gets darker. Now, the downside to higher ISO is noise in an image. Noise in an image is the small, tiny dots, like grain-like dots that show up in the darkest parts of the image. Depending on the amount of noise you have in your image, the image could be saved in post-production, but if if it's just too much, then that image is pretty much rendered useless. Okay, so let me take a picture. It's pretty bright outside, and I don't have such a dark neutral density filter with me, but I will give it a shot. If I can't get the shot right now, I'll just take an image when I get back home in a darker room where it'll be much more obvious.
I told you about them, what they would do, how they could hurt you.
Okay, so I was able to get both images, and as you can see, quite a difference. It's the one image with where the ISO is bumped up to 6400 has a lot more noise in it. That is, well, you cannot repair that. That image is pretty much gone, so you want to avoid that. I usually try to stay below, well, with images, depending on what I'm shooting, I try to stay below 500. If if I say have to bump it up a little bit, I will not go more than 1000 ISO. I know that sounds like a lot, but different cameras have different sensitivity, show different results with higher ISO. So now that you have an idea of how shutter speed, aperture, and ISO work, you can get a better understanding of how to adjust each of them in order to get the desired effect. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the footage that I just got, and I'll see you later. Bye.